Game is over. 75% plus of all card breakers, sports card breakers, non-sports card breakers, they will be gone, I am predicting, in the next 12 months.
You sure about that?
We got a little speculation prediction video, guys. Thank you very much for joining me here today. Hit that subscribe button down below if you like what you're hearing, because we will continue on. You can count on that. Shout out to today's video sponsor, COMC.com, your home for buying, selling, and flipping all the hottest trading cards. Their consignment marketplace now home to over 31 million cards from baseball's biggest stars like Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge, and Mookie Betts to Marvel favorites like Spider-Man, Thor, and Captain America. COMC has something for every type of collector, so make sure to visit COMC.com today to build out your collection with your favorite cards. I've got a link below in the video description as well as in the pinned comments. Check out COMC, it's a good time. All right, friendlies, there is so much talk about breaking these days. What seemed to really kick this into a higher gear is eBay eliminating a lot of breakers off of their platform.
One shall stand, one shall fall.
Or basically folks that were selling breaks on eBay. And I don't know how that affects eBay Live. I assume that also folks that were breaking on eBay Live, now it's kind of like, hey, we got to be a part of the program. You got to be part of the program. And we don't know who's a part of the program yet. But eBay just took a hardline stance on who is going to be doing breaks on their platform, which probably common sense would tell us, because big companies usually react to these sorts of things or just try to get out in front of it. There's probably some sort of bill somewhere that's out there in the universe that says something to the effect that platforms couldn't be held liable for this sort of thing, blah, 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 whatever. The attorneys over there have said, like, I don't like this.
I'm going to talk to the judge about a writ of habeas corpus. I'll put the system on trial.
We need to do something about it, which is kind of a big deal because if you think about it, I'm sure eBay was making a fair amount of money on people selling break spots through eBay or eBay Live. So I don't know. It's a very interesting take. It's an interesting move. But now we're kind of seeing a little bit of a ripple. But now because of that, there is a lot more talk about gambling and breaks and sports betting and how that all ties together. Look, sports betting, what's really interesting is it's only really gotten more popular and becoming more legal state by state. You know, this is something when I was a kid, you go back 30 years, it was not legal in very many states at all. So the fact that you have sports betting that's kind of gaining steam, and Fanatics has their own sports book, they've got their own system set up for this. Michael Rubin sold off his 10% ownership of the Philadelphia 76ers so that he could be involved in sports betting. That should tell you something right there. You know he didn't want to sell it, but he probably looked at it and was like, man, we're going to make a truckload of money in sports betting. And when you look at sports card breaks, it's really not that different. It's kind of a cousin to sports betting. The big thing that I think and what I really hope, if we're looking at kind of, you hear all about the regulation stuff and this and that. I'm not a fan of regulation because many times the government, they get involved and there might be some bad apples out there, but the government hits everybody. It's a huge swath. It's a huge hit when regulation comes in and it eliminates all of the guys and gals that are doing good business as well. There will be overreaching requirements. There will be overreaching, maybe taxation or whatever it is. It will be overreaching. That's how it works. It seems to always happen this way. So I think there's just really basic things that could be done. I mean, common sense stuff. The big one too is just to have breakers disclose, hey, you know, odds are you're not going to get these hits. Some sort of kind of a disclosure of like, hey, guys, this product is tough. This checklist is tough. Hits are going to be hard to come by. Also, I think that everyone should get something. The only break I've ever done is with Flippin' Steve, YouTuber Flippin' Steve, my buddy. And it was just a bunch of buddies getting together doing a break. But you know what he did? He brought extra cards, some slabs, not expensive stuff, $10, $15, $20 cards. And he would throw those in where, you know, people didn't win anything. I'll send you this slab. I'll send you this, you know, $10 card. He was just doing that to be nice, to, you know, hang out with friends and do something for fun so that there wasn't anyone that lost. Everyone basically got their money's worth, whether through the cards that we pulled or just because he gave you some cards. And I think that breakers really have to do something like this. You know, you hear all the time where it's like, I spent $250 on a break and I got nothing. That can't happen. Just can't happen. Got to have something in place to where you get something for your money. This should be really common sense. The biggest reason why 75% of breakers will not be around in 12 months, approximately, is because there is not going to be as much money in it. Look, the glory days, and this is what kind of happens when you have something new that's exciting and you've got high demand for it. This is kind of what happened with breaking going back about 10 years or so. And especially over the last 5, it's gotten very popular.
I think we've hit every one of Curry in the entire run of Select. Between the snakeskins, Black, Steph, Curry to 1, Erica Jones. Scott's going to lose his mind to not be able to break this.
But, of course, what happens? Big companies, they see it and they're like, man, these guys are actually making a lot of money just open up boxes of cards. How can we get a piece of that action? And that's exactly what we're seeing now. And so there's going to be a lot less money in it for those that stay in it. Fanatics is going to take a nice chunk of this, and the platforms where you're breaking on, they are going to increase their take, I think. I'm predicting that. So not to say that you can't make money doing it, but it will be a lot harder to make money. It already is compared to 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago from what I've seen. I don't think that gets any better. It's not going to open up. It was this cool little cottage thing. If you got in early on it, great. But it's changing. It's definitely changing. And that's even if there's no, gaming authority that comes in and says, oh, this is, some sort of a gambling thing and we're going to treat it a different way. I'm talking about if they do nothing with it. If they do absolutely nothing with it and they leave it the way that it is, it's just that the platforms are going to start taking more of it. Fanatics is going to have control of the product. So Fanatics Live will open up. They're going to take a nice piece, a nice chunk. And they're going to have requirements to be able to participate. So what will happen is you'll have the big breakers, the big names, they will stay in because they have to. They built a business around it. But they're going to be making a lot less too. It's not as if, to me, it's not as if that those big time breakers are going to continue making huge money the same way that they always have. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I see the platforms coming in and they want their piece. And not to say these breakers don't make money, but it will not be the days of old. Kind of wonder if more of the sports card breakers are going to go over to the sports betting side. I look at a guy like Cblez. I'm looking at his IG, and he has been doing a lot of sports betting type posts and talking about how great sports betting is, which makes me kind of worry a little bit for him. I've never met Cblez, but he seems like a harmless dude just out here having fun and trying to be creative and trying to be entertaining on social media. Fine. But it makes me a little bit nervous when you see 20-somethings, I assume he's 20-somethings, going out there and getting into sports betting as if that is a career. Now, if you're promoting a sports betting site or something, you have some sort of a tie-in, maybe that's different. But if you are actually out there doing it, that makes me a little bit nervous. And frankly, just the acceptance of sports betting, the way that it is state by state, it's becoming more and more common. The NFL is hooked up with, is it DraftKings? They're hooked up with a huge site. To me, that's just incredible to me. The fact that a professional league is tied in with one of the largest sports betting sites. It's, fantasy football, or whatever, daily fantasy football. It's interesting, and so that's becoming more and more accepted. I don't think that it's an amazing thing for society. I know a lot of the sports betting people are gonna be like, Dustin, you're such a lame-o. You're not letting us have any fun. You're no fun. I get that fine. Look, if you're somebody that goes out and you bet $5 a week or $10 a week and you have good control over it, you have a budget for it, absolutely. It's a fun thing. I'm not of the belief that everyone has that sort of control. And so I don't think for society that it's a great thing that we just have all of this access to that stuff. We know when it comes to the casinos, the house always wins. So I don't know, guys. Let me know. Are these breakers going to still be here? Because I just don't think that they are. I think it's going to get consolidated down to a dozen, 15, maybe 20 big breaking companies, and that's about it. And I think that they are going to be making far less because the take from the platforms, what do I know? I am just one dude on the internet talking about cards. All right, guys, stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.